till Diane gets to her chair.
What is this?
We're going to call the meeting to order. First item is invocation by Rabbi Dr. Adele Potkin of the Beth Torah Jewish Congregation.
Thank you, Mayor. Honorable Mayor, council members and staff, community members and friends. At this time of countrywide discord and fear, I stand before you to applaud your efforts to meet the challenges of governing in a most respectful, cordial, and public-oriented manner with decorum. It is clear that you take seriously the tasks of town policing and safety. Further, your actions show a deep dedication to democracy, such as through enabling effective voting for all citizens without disenfranchisement for frivolous or bigoted reasons. By these and similar actions, we pray that you will be able to lead the town to a thriving, safe, and enriching existence. May you be blessed with wisdom, clear vision of goals, and fortitude to carry through in order to help this town cherish and preserve all that gives us beauty, dignity, and purpose. May you have the strength to cooperatively make hard choices when needed so that our community can be safe and secure with the needs of its people and its environment being well provided for while finding the best path for the allocation of resources. These heartfelt prayers we now all affirm, each in our own way, as we say, so may it be.
Thank you, Rabbi. Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Councilmember Whiting.
Please follow me in reciting the pledge. Please face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mike. Okay, next item is roll call. Diane?
Mayor Skoog?
Present.
Vice Mayor, Vice Mayor Nye is absent this evening. Councilmember Anderson?
Here.
Councilmember Grossman is absent this evening. Councilmember Mallory?
Here.
Councilmember Rooney is also absent this evening. Councilmember Whiting?
Here.
We have a quorum, Mayor.
Thank you, Diane. Next thing is number 5, proclamations, American Indian Heritage Month. You want to read the proclamation, Diane? Is there somebody here to accept that? Okay, great.
Are we taking this?
No, I did.
Okay. National American Indian Heritage Month, November 2018. Whereas the ASDAR Yavapai chapter of Prescott Valley, Arizona, is sponsoring National American Indian Heritage Month in the Tri-City area during the month of November, and whereas the history and culture of our great nation have been significantly influenced by American Indians and indigenous peoples, and whereas the contributions of American Indians have enhanced the freedom, prosperity, and greatness of America today, and whereas their customs and traditions are respected and celebrated as part of a rich legacy throughout the United States, and whereas Native American Awareness Week began in 1976 and recognition was expanded by Congress and approved by President George Bush in August 1990, designating the month of November as National American Indian Heritage Month. And whereas in honor of National American Indian Heritage Month, community celebrations as well as numerous cultural, artistic, educational, and historical activities have been planned. Now, therefore, I, Harvey C. Skoog, Mayor of the town of Prescott Valley, Arizona, do hereby proclaim November 2018 as Native American Indian Heritage Month in the town of Prescott Valley, and urge all of our citizens to observe this month with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities.
Thank you, Diane. Mary, any comments?
Well, as always, it's an honor to always be able to be here and to be here to celebrate the freedoms and the liberties that all of us have and not to take any of them for granted. And so it is with great honor to give you this proclamation, to recognize you tonight and appreciate all that you do.
Kathy, comments?
Thank you. We're from Yavapai chapter, Daughters of the American Revolution. We're a very active chapter up here in Yavapai County in northern Arizona. We are the largest service organization for women in the world. We are so honored to be able to accept this proclamation, and the month of November is Indian Heritage Month. So think about all that have gone before us, all of our people here in Yavapai County, and especially maybe at Thanksgiving, you can tell a little story at the table about the first Thanksgiving instead of whatever. Anyway, thank you very much. And can I introduce my ladies? Okay, some of our chapter members. At the end is Kathy Houchin, Judy Fullerton, Linda Shebeck, Debbie Lamb, and I'm Kathy Mockmer. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to be here at your council meetings.
Any of you other ladies want to comment? They're supporters, huh? Well, thank you so much for coming up here.
Yeah, can we have a picture with you?
Oh, by all means.
For our-
And I got an extra copy.
Thank you.
For the police chief, take a picture.
We've been there before. I'll put a cheese phone on you. I'll do it right here. Thank you. I'm still checking on the inside.
Okay, the next item is, let's see,
West Yavapai.
next item is West Yavapai Guidance Clinic, Stabilization Unit Update. Laura Norman, are you here? She was there yesterday, a little while ago. Thank you, Laura, and welcome. We'll leave this all up to you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you for having me. My name is Laura Norman with West Yavapai Guidance Clinic, and I wanted to come today to give you a brief presentation on the Crisis Stabilization Unit, which we opened a little more than a year ago now. So let me see if I do this right. Even though I know the Council knows a good bit about our clinic, for the audience and the viewers at home, I just wanted to start with a couple slides about an overview of what we do. We're the largest nonprofit provider of mental health crisis and addiction treatment in the county. Our mission-focused area is Western Yavapai County, and we're proud to be the safety net. So we primarily serve people who really don't have that many options. We serve children in the foster care system. We're there within 72 hours to do an assessment when they're removed from the home. We serve people who have serious mental illness, such as schizophrenia, schizoaffective disorder. We have residential drug treatment for local people in this community, and we have a crisis unit. Some of the other services are listed up there. I would be remiss if I didn't mention that we also have a psychiatric hospital for adults on Windsong Drive called Windhaven Hospital. Before we opened the unit in June 2017, the town of Prescott Valley was at the table. You helped us not only in the vision of what the protocols would be, but also how we could serve the residents in this community better when they're having psychiatric or substance use related crisis. Law enforcement was there. They helped us write the protocols. I was just talking to one officer. He said, we're in, we're out, we're back helping people in the community. And that's what we always intended. We intended to have a place where people could come when they're in that crisis. Their family members could bring them. It would be a better opportunity to connect with them than in an emergency room setting or in jail. We were hoping to avoid jail admissions, emergency room admissions, and help people better. And we're doing that. The numbers tell the story. In our first year, 2,950 people came to the Crisis Stabilization Unit. Now, all those people were not admitted to one of our chairs or one of our beds. Those included mothers coming to ask about, how do I get my adult child help? Fathers asking about, what about this opioid stuff I'm hearing about? What should I be looking for? So 2,950 in the first year alone, and I can guarantee you that we've well surpassed 3,000 since June. In that first year, nearly 400 people came to us, brought personally by law enforcement. And they come in, we ask them why you brought them, what the presenting issue is, and we try to get those officers back out on the street. And again, as I told you before, it seems to be working. We're able to engage these people, hopefully not only in solving whatever's going on right then, but to get them to accept maybe some longer-term help in their mental health or substance use concerns. YRMC is showing data with reduced lengths of stay for people who do show up at their ERs with a substance use or a psychiatric issue, and also numbers in general decreasing. Yavapai Jail is reporting positive impact. They have fewer people who come in on suicide watch, and actually fewer numbers in general of people that normally would have been taken there, but now they can come to CSU. We have people who come to us not just because they're suicidal. They may be severely depressed. There may be some severe grief issues. They may be experiencing a drug issue. The number one drug is still alcohol, though. It's not opioids and it's not meth. It's alcohol. We are trying to encourage people who are struggling with opioid issues to come see us, and I'll tell you more about that in a minute. The crisis unit is open to anybody, regardless of ability to pay, rich, poor. Everybody in the state, if you did not know, has a 3-day crisis intervention benefit. So if somebody is struggling, let's say they've lost a loved one, they lost their spouse of 50 years, they're depressed, the family is concerned, bring them into CSU, let them talk to one of our professionals, and don't worry about that cost, okay? Paramedics, that's something that we added late last year. That allows us to help people who are more medically compromised and frankly would have gone to the emergency room before. I can tell you one example. We had a gentleman who was he struggles long-term with alcoholism. He came in with a 0.4. Now, if you know 0.08 is legally intoxicated, 0.4 is a lot of alcohol on board. That can cause severe detox problems and some severe medical issues. Before the paramedics, we might have sent that person to YRMC, a little bit concerned about whether it was out of our scope. Not with the paramedics. They have everything they need from EKGs, testing equipment, everything there to handle that, and we were able to serve that man there. We are now offering Suboxone. And that is a drug that helps people who are struggling with opioid addiction. We can start that detox both at our CSU and our Windhaven Psychiatric Hospital. If those patients would like to continue with medication-assisted therapy, which is proven to work, it's not just a magic pill, it's pills along with counseling, okay? They can continue over at Southwest Behavioral Health, which is another treatment provider in this community that provides high-quality care. We really do try to get that person while we have them at the CSU to engage not only with us at the time, but in a long-term solution. I included a couple pictures for you. At the top is a picture of our 10-chair observation area. People can stay with us there for up to 24 hours. If we need to keep them longer, you see on the right where the orange chairs, we have 8 beds. And then on the left, that is our one of our psychiatric nurse practitioners and a nurse actually in that paramedic intake entrance getting ready for an intake. So it is stark. Safety is first. That is what we're about, keeping people safe in a crisis. But we try to be as welcoming as possible. Finally, before I take any questions you may have, again, I just want to extend my thanks to the town of Prescott Valley because this was a big undertaking for our clinic. We hadn't done a new project like this since we opened the hospital in 2008, and I think the mayor helped cut the ribbon that day too. So this was huge. It's what we call the missing link locally in serving people better, people who are experiencing psychiatric crisis, who don't need to be in jail and they don't need to be in an emergency room. They need to be in a place like the CSU. So that's my presentation. I don't know if you have any questions for me tonight.
Questions, anyone? Comments? Mary?
I just wanted to thank you, Laura. And I know our Vice Mayor, Laura Lee, is not here tonight, but she is such an advocate and so involved with this. You know, she puts a lot of her heart and soul into all of this. And so I did want to bring that up and recognize her because this is a very close thing in her life. And thank you for what you do and the police department as well. It is a community effort. It takes all of us to help others. And so I so appreciate what you do and what this gives to the community because there are so many people out there, they just have things happen and it happens really quick and they don't know what to do. Sometimes life can just send you down that rabbit hole and you're just not sure how to get out. So thank you.
Thank you.
Rick?
Well, I also want to thank you. I know that the effort that's expended at your end keeps all of us safer at the other end because we see less of the issues that the police department will see. These are issues that if we spend the time and the money in the beginning, we can stop a lot of the advancement. And we need to do that. We stopped doing that in this country, and we've seen the results of that. Stopping doesn't help. Stopping doesn't work. So what you're doing does work, and we want to continue with that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mike?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, attended a conference not long ago. I guess it was Year's Town Hall. We had a conference at ERAU regarding how do we prevent incarceration as far as preliminary avenues to pursue. And I think mental health has a big part in that. And I know with your stabilization unit that really has cut down a lot. I think it came out of that workshop. And so we depend on you, and definitely you provide a safety measure for us, but also for those clients that you serve so they can become productive again in our community. So we appreciate everything that you do.
Thank you.
Laura, you've been at this, 21 years, I believe you said?
22, going on 23, yes.
We sure appreciate that. You've done a great job and a great service.
Thank you, Mayor.
Keep it up, okay?
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next we'll go on to the Student of the Month for the month of October. Mike?
Is Margarita here this evening? No? Okay. Well, what I'm going to do then is I'm going to present to Court Minor, the principal of Bradshaw Mountain High School, what we would traditionally present our youth of the month. And so I'll come down and meet you.
Oh, there you go.
Well, usually the fourth month or fourth week of the month for council includes our recognition for Student of the Month, and unfortunately something probably has interrupted our Student of the Month by attending tonight, so we have a nice stand-in for us, and I'm trying to think. I think you've attended several of these in a suit, and you look very nice. I hope you come every fourth Thursday in a suit. You look great. Anyway, we want to recognize Margarita Cruz Carrillo. And how we do this is that faculty and staff at Bradshaw Mountain High School and other teachers kind of sit down and decide who are worthy students in the community of Bradshaw Mountain High School that we can recognize. And, you know, obviously there's not a lot of venues where we can do this, and so we feel very proud. As part of the Optimist Club of Yavapai County in collaboration with Bradshaw Mountain High School and, of course, the town of Prescott Valley, that we want to promote, I think, the values of what these students emulate as they're going through their studies at Bradshaw Mountain High School. And most of them, if not all, are seniors, of course. And so I do have some information that I'll go through just to give you an idea of what she has done. But we always hope that these students, as they go through their process of education and learning, and I know this student will be going to Northern Arizona University, that she'll come back to Prescott Valley and contribute as a productive member of our community as well. But she has participated in the college-level CNA, which is Certified Nurse Assistant Program, which I think is that a college-level program? So it's something that she's gone above and beyond in terms of regular high school courses to achieve. And obviously, I think her focus is, and I think that's what it is as far as health care. She wants to be a nurse when she goes to Northern Arizona University. She's a 3-year member of the HOSA, which is the Health Occupation Students of America. It's a national program which promotes the career opportunities, and obviously that's why she's involved, and it does provide leadership development activities as well. So she knows she wants to get involved with leadership activities and get involved with health care. She's a LINK Crew member, which is a school leadership and transition program to mentor freshmen. And I think all that the candidates we see every month that come here are similarly involved with the high school and are LINK members and are involved with HOSA or other groups that are part of the high school curriculum. She serves in the Interact Club, and she has for 2 years, and that's something close to my heart because Interact is part of the service organization through Rotary, and she's currently their treasurer, so she's gotten involved with other outside activities. This is her second year as a varsity boys soccer manager, and I can anticipate the benefits of being a soccer manager for the senior soccer club. I don't know, just thinking out loud. She provides interpreting for the school front office, which I assume is Spanish because she's done outstanding in her Spanish class. She serves on a St. Germain Catholic Church youth group, and she's been doing that for 4 years, so she's actually working in the community and helping as well, and plans to attend, as I mentioned, Northern Arizona University. And generally, we like to give each recipient each month a certificate that kind of proclaims that Margarita Cruz Carrillo is October Student of the Month. And then we do have a paperweight as well, which says she's the Student of the Month, Optimist International. So we always kid them that they can put all their paperwork on their desk and put that paperweight on there to remind them of this honor. And I'll turn this over to Court Minor, because I know he has a few things he'd like to say as well.
Thank you, Mr. Whiting, Mayor Skoog, council members, distinguished guests. My name is Court Minor. I'm the proud principal of Bradshaw Mountain High School. And I just want to say a few things. She just texted me, and she's doing her clinicals this evening. So she was not able to get out of her clinicals. She is in our nursing program. So I'll present the word to her tomorrow. Mike said some nice things, but I just want to give you a couple quotes that she said to me and why my staff Caesar as such a well-deserved student for the Student of the Month. She has a GPA of 3.771. She's in the top 15% of our class. But she said, even though I feel as if I don't deserve this recognition, I'm immensely grateful knowing I can create a positive impact on this campus and will continue to choose excellence. She said, currently I'm involved in the CNA program here at BMHS, and I feel truly privileged in taking part of a life-changing college-level program at such an early age. And we're very proud. It's one of our flagship programs at Bratch Mountain High School, and it's really nice to see the students when they get in there and start taking on these leadership roles, how they grow. And she's definitely done that. Today we finished our second blood drive of the year. We do 4 blood drives every school year, and Bratch Mountain High School has been recognized for the last 4 years as one of the best. It's called the Platinum Award from United Blood Services. For the last 4 years, we've received the Platinum Award for the best blood drives for a high school in northern Arizona. And Marguerite has a lot to do with that. I've been at 3 high schools in Nevada and 3 high schools in Arizona. And I have never been at a high school where we have to turn kids away at a blood drive because so many students show up to give blood, they fill up. I keep telling them, bring a bigger vat, I don't know, or a big storage unit, I don't know what they bring. But every year, around 6th period, 7th period, they're like, we're full. Thank you guys so much. We've taken all the blood that we can take, and we turn students away. So very proud of Bratch Mountain High School and the nursing program and the blood drives and the success we've had the last 4 years. And Margarita had a lot to do with that. So thank you guys. I'll present this award to her tomorrow. Thank you.
Mike, and thank you, Mr. Minor. Okay, we move on then to, it says swearing in of 2 new officers, really introducing 2 new officers. They've already been sworn in, and the chief has put them to work. Matthew Klein and Peter Goodman. Chief, you are up.
Thank you. Matt Klein, can you join me up here? So I want to first tell you, Mayor and Council, that if you remember, we've been bringing our employees in front of you, especially our sworn officers, because we think it's important for you to know who our officers are as well as the community. And I have to admit, we've been a little bit remiss for the last, maybe a year or so, and we haven't brought a lot of our employees here, and that's our fault, and we take responsibility for that. So I think a lot of you are getting handouts or publications sent to you about all the new employees that we have, because we didn't want to march like 20 in here tonight. I don't think Larry would have appreciated that. So you're going to get a handout or a write-up on all the new employees we have along with their pictures, so you'll know who they are. But we do want to get back on track about introducing our new employees, especially our sworn officers, to you. So I'm going to start with Matt Klein. Matthew Klein is originally from Nashville, Indiana, and moved to Arizona while in high school in 2010. In 2011, he became an Eagle Scout after being in scouting since he was in elementary school. He graduated from Mingus Union High School in Cottonwood in 2012 and attended Yavapai College, where he received an Associate of Arts degree. He is currently pursuing a bachelor's degree in public administration and public safety at Northern Arizona University. In 2014, Matt attended the Northern Arizona Regional Training Academy, and he received academic honors. He began his career with Jerome PD and served there for about 4 years. He also worked for Clarkdale Police Department for 3 years full-time while still serving with Jerome as a reserve officer. During his time in Clarkdale, he attended extensive training in DUI investigations, tracking, and rural crime investigations. He is presently participating in our field training program, and we anticipate he will complete that training without problems. Matt's hobbies include hiking, hunting, and spending time with his wife Jessica and son Killian, who I believe are here tonight. I present Matt Klein.
It's nice meeting you all.
Use the microphone if you would. 20 minutes.
20 minutes. Yeah, right. Anyways, I'm Matt Klein. It's nice to meet all you guys. I'm happy to be here. Been an officer. This is my 4th year now. Prescott Valley has a lot to offer as a career. I like it a lot, and I don't plan on going anywhere else. So this is my 3rd agency to transfer to, and I'm tired of moving around. So I'd like to stay here. So,
well,
yeah.
welcome and congratulations and best
Yeah.
wishes for
Thank
a
you.
long time of success.
Yeah, my wife, Jessica,
Oh, come
and
on
son
up.
Killian are in the back, and so is my mother.
Bring them up, introduce them.
So if you guys will come up. They're coming.
Matt, you're going to pay for that.
So I heard you say you've been on the force for 4 years here? No.
No, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
No, overall, I've been an officer for 4 years, but I've only been here for 7 weeks now.
Oh, because I was going to say to the chief, yeah, you really are behind on the...
No, I just started here.
Now, if you'll introduce the family.
Yeah, this is my wife, Jessica, our son, Killian, and this is my mom, Missy.
Good to see you. Rick, you got a comment?
Thank you, guys.
Peter Goodman. Peter, is the mic on? There he comes. Peter Goodman comes to us in a very unique and unusual story. He's originally from the United Kingdom. Where he served for about 4.5 years for Her Majesty's Royal Marines Commandos. Peter deployed to Iraq in 2004 and the Caribbean in 2007 twice. While serving, he represented the Royal Marines and the Royal Navy on the combat shooting team and worked as a helicopter sniper conducting counter-narcotics operations in the Caribbean, where they seized approximately 4.5 tons of narcotics. Peter moved to Texas in 2008 to be with his wife. He's worked several jobs until earning his citizenship in 2012 and applied for a police officer's position in Stephenville, Texas. Stephenville, Texas, where he worked for about 5 years. With them, he worked patrol for about 2.5 years and then as a detective for the remaining 2.5 years, working crimes against persons and internet crimes against children's cases. Peter was a sniper team leader and lead firearms instructor for a multi-regional SWAT team for about 4.5 years. He is married with one son, and we are glad to have him as part of our family now. I present Peter Goodman.
And his family.
Yeah, they're going to stay sat over there, but that's my wife and my son Warwick. My wife's name's
Have
Kathy.
him come on up.
They'll just stay over there. It's easier. Don't have to drag everything up. So, I'm glad to be here. Appreciate the opportunity. Hope I can make everybody happy. So, cheers.
Any other comments, Chief?
Yeah, we're still trying to figure out how to understand him on the radio, but we're getting there. Thank you, Mayor.
Chief, thank you.
Thank you.
And congratulations. Okay, next we have a certificate of appreciation to Pat Ruiz for 20 years of service. Mr. Ruiz.
Mayor and Council, you'll notice this is probably a little bit longer because he's been here and we're celebrating 20 years for Lieutenant Reese, although he's been in law enforcement for a long time. Lieutenant Pat Reese has been employed with the Prescott Valley Police Department since October of 1998. Prior to coming to Prescott Valley, he worked for the Navajo County Sheriff's Office, the Holbrook Police Department, and the Department of Corrections. He has a total of 31 years of law enforcement experience. Since he has been at Prescott Valley Police Department, he has had the opportunity to work a variety of assignments. While assigned to patrol, he became a member of the Field Training Unit and was later assigned as lead FTO, or Field Training Officer, for the department. Pat served as lead FTO until he was promoted to sergeant. He was also a member of the Special Response Team, where he served for 5 years. In 2002, Pat was promoted to Master Patrol Officer, which is the equivalent of a corporal or lead police officer today. While assigned as an MPO, he continued to train new employees in the Field Training Unit, where he was responsible for scheduling and training of all new and lateral employees. During his time on patrol, Pat attained certifications as a drug recognition expert and instructor, high-risk stops instructor, field training officer, horizontal gaze nystagmus, and standardized field sobriety testing instructor, and he can probably tell you what that is. a general instructor, DARE officer and instructor, and a background investigator. As a sergeant, Pat was assigned to patrol and criminal investigations. Along with his patrol supervisor responsibilities, he again took over the field training unit. He was involved with the field training officer unit since 1999, and in 2013, that unit was awarded Unit of the Year at the department's awards banquet. So I guess he figured he'd done everything he could, so in 2014, he left the field training unit and took on the ancillary duty of new vehicle builds. In October of 2015, Pat was assigned to criminal investigations. He was responsible for the operations of all the criminal investigations and the family violence unit. He was also responsible for the officers from Prescott Valley assigned to Pant and Giddam. While in this position, he had to become familiar with the family violence unit stop grant and VOCA grants, which can be kind of cumbersome. And those two grants provide funding for a detective and 3 civilian employees. In June of 2016, Pat was promoted to lieutenant and assigned to field services. There, he was responsible for half of the patrol division operations, field training, the SWAT team, and the Northern Arizona Regional Training Academy, where he became the academy commander overseeing everyday operations from August of 2016 to May of 2018. During his time as academy commander, Pat was responsible for securing a virtual 360-degree training system for use by all user agencies in the Yavapai County, especially the recruits at the academy. That system was valued at over $200,000. Pat is the proud father of 2 boys, Alec and Hayden, and I present Lieutenant Reese. Congratulations.
Well, as always, it's amazing when the chief is up here reading about all the achievements that all of you do, and you are amazing in your career, and we are blessed to have you. And I just thank you that you're part of our family. Appreciate all that you do.
Lieutenant Mary does have a plaque to present to you, but first your comments. She says 20 minutes.
Just like to say thank you to the mayor, the council, the town manager. Appreciate the opportunity to come here and work. I've been blessed with being able to work for such a great town and an awesome department. Along with it, they have the administration, chief, deputy chief, and all the officers and the administrative staff. It's a great place to work, and it's like I said, I'm blessed. It's a great place. Also, with being in the job for 20 years, it's I couldn't have done it without the support of the family. My boys and my wife, who was my biggest cheerleader. And all the friends and family. So, thank you all for standing by me for 20 years. I appreciate it.
Family, want to come up? Mary, you want to make a presentation?
Well, Pat, we'd like to present to you this plaque. 20 years service. So appreciate everything that you've done for our community. Also, we'd like to present to you a gift, a check, for also your service to our community. Again, thank you. And God bless you, your wonderful family, and we always know that behind all of our officers are the families who need them to come home, and we support that, and we understand that, and we're here for your family too. I want you to know that.
Would you introduce your family?
My stepfather, Joaquin, my mom, Rose, my son, Alec, and my son, Hayden.
Thank you so much for coming up. And look, Lieutenant, you've commented about what the good police department we have. You've helped make it that. So thank you so much.
Hey, Pat. Congratulations.
Well, thank you, Chief. Okay, we have another certificate of appreciation to Diane Russell for 15 years. Diane, come on up.
And Diane needs to come down there with you if you don't mind.
Have you got a bunch of notes, Larry, to read?
Well, actually, Mayor, I do have some comments to make, and so does her team. They are here in force, and so we certainly appreciate that.
These people are microphone shy.
Okay, Mayor and Council, we at times complain when another city or town hires away some of our very good talent. In Diane's case, the opposite happened. Kingman's loss has been our gain 15 years ago. And so we do thank Kingman for being gracious about that, although they weren't. But nevertheless, I've worked closely with Diane for 14 out of those 15 years, where we sit up here, and actually we started off at the old, or the courtroom, if you will, over in Civic Center, which is where we had our council meetings. And there are times when we're sitting there at council meetings, and it might be serious, but you'll see Diane put her hand up in front of her face to stifle a laugh, and she'll bite the inside of her cheek to keep from laughing out loud. And of course, I don't understand what was said to her that would make her do something like that, but that would happen on occasion. One of those occasions is an annual event. And that is when the Public Works Director comes before council to award the small contracts, and he does that every May. And there's a long story behind that, but you'll have to get those details from Diane because I refuse to go ahead and repeat them. But every year we get a good chuckle out of that. On a professional side, Diane is the consummate professional for a town clerk. And if you don't believe her, listen to her presentation at the Citizens Academy, where she will sit there and talk about the profession of being a town clerk and how it's one of the oldest professions in the world.
Government.
Oh, yes, okay. And so Diane is very proud of that, but she does it extremely well, is very well respected by her peers in the town clerk world, and she has been put on a number of committees to go ahead and help tutor some of the new town clerks. And something that you don't know is that just here recently there was a change in law. Well, not recently, it happens every year apparently, but as it relates to voting and some of the steps that you need to take. And Diane called it to my attention that there was a problem with some communities that we're familiar with and couldn't understand what was going on. And so I made a couple of phone calls and offered Diane's help to tutor some town clerks because they were doing something wrong and following old law versus new law. And she pulled a couple of communities fat out of the fire, so to speak, by going ahead and pulling aside their clerks and helping them out, which saved a huge embarrassment for a couple of communities. And so Diane is our star when she is able to do things like that, and is, once again, very well respected. And then on the final note, and I think everybody sitting up here as council members will attest to this, when we have elections, people that are interested in running for office will make their first stop to the town clerk's office. And with all good intentions, there's a whole bunch of rules that people have to follow. And Diane tutors all of the citizens that have the desire to serve the community of Prescott Valley and to do something greater than themselves, and Diane helps them all. And helps them all evenly. So she, in many ways, is a guardian of democracy in our community. And Diane, for that, I thank you very much.
Mary, any comments?
Well, Diane, I've had the privilege to work with you for the last 8 years, and I know in the beginning of my adventure into the town council that I think I made my visits there at least 4 times a week, you know, showing up every day with more questions and more questions. And you have always been very patient, and you do an amazing job. And we've had some interesting elections over the past 8 years and different things that have come up. So you are the star for us. I absolutely know that, and I appreciate you always. Thank you.
Rick, I know you got some comments.
I do. Diane, many times I've had the opportunity to thank you for everything that you do in your capacity as town clerk. But I also want to thank you for being such a nice woman to work with, because you're always smiling, at least when I see you. There's some people back there shaking their head. So apparently not to everybody, but you've been nice to me. So that's what counts to me. So that's fine.
She is nice to some people. Mike?
So.
I'm not sure what Rick is trying to say, but but Diane, we do recognize your professionalism. We appreciate your support and help, and I know it's just a quagmire, that's a great word, for the elections every so often, every 2 years, I guess, and you never skip a beat. I think you're always ahead of of all the things that we need to know in order to get that done, but all the other things that make this town run very well. And of course, you play a large part in how our town runs and keeps our town where it should be. So we appreciate the 15 years. I don't know if Larry said you're the oldest professional, and no, he didn't say that. But hopefully you'll stay another 15 years. Yeah. So we can use your expertise, and you can help us along as we go along in the next millennium. So congratulations.
Diane, you got some comments in your defense?
I hardly know where to begin with my defense. I guess the first thing I need to address is about why I'm laughing while I'm sitting up here. It might have something to do with the little elbow I get from right to the right of me constantly, and little whispers in my ear, and makes me crack up. Yeah, it's not all spontaneous on my part. See, he's laughing right now. So anyway, I wanted to say to all of you, my council members and staff, my office staff, thank you all. It's been wonderful working here. I've enjoyed getting to know all of you. It's been wonderful being here 15 years and seeing all these wonderful people come and go. And as you come and you go, I always miss you. And I'm going to especially miss you.
Oh, boy.
I wanted to say that. Yes. But I'm really happy with everybody I work with. I think it's a blessing to be able to work for this town. Unless you've worked in this environment with these people that work here, you have no idea how good a job can feel. And it's all about how you feel. It's fabulous. So thank all of you. Thank all of you. Appreciate it. I'll try to make 50. No guarantees, Mike.
Would you introduce your...
I'd love to. Come here.
You all have a 20-minute speech.
I don't know what they're going to have to explain. This is my records manager, Diane Anderson. This is my loss control coordinator, because Larry forgot to mention I also do risk management for the town, small things like claims and insurance. And this is my deputy town clerk, Fatima Hernandez. Fatima has been with me now about 6 months. Heather has just come back off duty 5 months, active duty. She's a lieutenant in the Army. she's not leaving for another year, so I won't let her. And Di's with me been a year now, so I love them all. 2 years, yeah, that's right, 2 years now. So I love them all. I've got the best staff in this whole town. Don't mind saying. And they're very effective and very efficient for you. So thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Any of you ladies have a comment?
Diane had mentioned that the environment that you work in really makes the job, and I just wanted to spin that on her, that working for her is hands down the best job that I've ever had. Coming back off of my 5 months active duty, I come to work every day with a smile. I'm happy to be here, and it's in large part to working for Diane and with Diane. She's an incredible boss, and although I've only been here technically a year, I thoroughly enjoy every part of my job. So I just wanted to say thank you for all that you've done.
Thank you.
Any other comments?
We wanted to surprise Diane by being here, so we didn't tell her ahead of time that we were going to be here. Mayor, council, thank you so much. Diane leads by example, her professionalism and her absolute ethic background that she has for her, all of that she does. She is for our town. She represents the town very well, and we so appreciate her. Thank you.
It's just really nice to be learning from the best, and I really like working with Diane. She's great.
And with that, Mary has a presentation for you, Diane.
Well, Diane, we have this award, this plaque. Appreciate you all the 15 years and another 15 years, as Mike mentioned. Yeah, we didn't put that on there, but we know about the next 15 years. We're good
Take
with
it
that.
into consideration.
Okay, thank you. And then also we have a gift here, a check, and we hope that all of this gives a little bit more to know that how much we care, we love you, and we appreciate your dedication and just your heart and soul into the community. That's priceless. Thank you.
Diane has done a super job. Mary, you want to take a picture?
No photo bombing.
Thank you, Diane. Congratulations. Okay, next item. Council comments or communications. Anybody have any comments or communications? No? Okay, we'll go back.
That was nice, wasn't it? He said you blew up the balloons. That's why they're still up, because they still have the hot air in them.
Okay, next are council or the consent agenda, and tonight we'll have Rick Anderson read that.
All matters listed under consent agenda are considered routine by the town council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately. Item A, approving the September 27 council and executive session minutes, October 4 work study minutes, October 11, 2018 council minutes. B, approving the October 12, 2018 board and commission selection committee minutes. C, approving acquisition of control of a Series 10 beer and wine store for Highway 69 Market located at 8470 East State Route 69, Teresa J. Morse applicant. Item D, approving a contract with the Greater Prescott Regional Economic Partnership, G-Prep. Item E, approving the appointment of Larry Tarkowski to one of the 2 citizen positions on the Public Safety Personnel Retirement System Board. Excuse me. Item F, approving a budget transfer from the contingency funds in the amount of $10,856.80 to the Police Administration Operating Legal Services line item. Item G, accepting a Bulletproof Vest Partnership Grant in the amount of $3,747.44 for the purchase of vests between April 1st, 2018 and March 31st, 2020. Item H, approving the Law Enforcement Canine Fund grant agreement, accepting the grant award of $5,190 for canine equipment. Item I, accepting 2 easements for the Viewpoint Spouse Intersection Improvement Project, CIP number S168.2. Item J, approving the $50,000 donation and budget transfer from the contingency account to non-departmental account for the Granite Mountain Hot Shots Memorial. Item K, approving department reports. Item L, accounts payable. Item M, financial report.
Thank you, Rick. Anyone want to pull an item for discussion, or a separate discussion, or do you want to approve it as a whole?
Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as a whole.
Second, anyone?
Mr. Mayor, I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Would you set the vote, Diane?
Councilmember Whiting?
Yes.
That passes, Mayor.
Thank you. Okay, we move on to number 10, new business for review, comment, and or possible action. 10A is department reports, Parks and Recreation annual report. Brian, you are up.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. On behalf of the Parks and Recreation Commission that received this multi-page report and approving its recommendation to be forwarded to you, they immediately scheduled cruises, other meetings, and 1 surgery, and pulling a second shift at the fire department, so they apologize they could not be in attendance this evening. But in doing so, that they asked me to provide this presentation with you tonight. Did not want to bore you with a large amount of the numbers that are in here throughout the document, but they did want to share with you that the Parks and Recreation Department is strongly effective within our community, and they wanted to show you some of those elements as the fiscal year 2017-18 provided. There we go. Throughout the year, we were able to improve our system. We were able to improve our aquatic system with controllers, roof renovations, and slide improvements. We were able to make improvements in our parks with ramadas, mower purchases, American Legion and Tonto North parking lot improvements, playground improvements at Mountain Valley Park, utility vehicle and truck acquisitions. We were able to facilitate the final elements of Bob Edwards Park, and we were also in the processes of beginning a community development block grant at the Boys and Girls Club expansion. You were able to help a park and recreation director achieve one of his bucket list items, and that was flying a restroom. into the parks. So that was a great achievement. We thank you for that. I believe it is quite an awesome facility out there if you like to tout the accolades of restrooms within the parks. You were able to help the department be an economic engine in our community. We were able to host 8 regional and sectional tournaments, as well as then also the 2017 National Junior College Men's Soccer Championships here in our community. You were able to help us showcase our community on the national scene, again with the national tournament, with communities coming from all over the U.S., and it was a growing tournament this year. They had a very nice expansion, and it's going to catapult future expansions of that tournament. You were also able to showcase us throughout the state and the nation, and having the Northern Arizona Healing Fields here in the town. You're able to help the department educate our youth. We have learn to swim lessons, have all kinds of other activities going on in which we're able to share and expand the knowledge of our young people in our community. You're able to help us get out and play as well as jam by hosting a variety of different health, wellness, exercise opportunities, whether they be organized classes, our trails, our park system, multi-use paths, all of those excellent things. All of our youth and adult sport activities through the developments of our parks and activity systems, as well as then also our free public concerts, and having that atmosphere available to our community members to be able to utilize as well. Great example of that is the Yavapai Regional Medical Center and their employee appreciation picnics, where they have over 2,000 folks attending on a nightly or on an annual basis. Sometimes we get played with as well. Mother Nature has some impacts on us in regards to the awesome environments that we have down there, and we work to create betterment. This was the aftermath of a $28,000 Arizona Game and Fish grant gone awry on us, compliments of Mother Nature and torrential downpours. And today you can go out there and see all the corrective actions that we've been able to take to help improve that fishery and natural area. Sometimes we're able to enrich families, enrich communities, enrich experiences through fellowship, and inspire. Sometimes through that inspiration, we're able to work with quality partners in our community, such as the Prescott Valley Chamber of Commerce and the Humboldt Unified School District. That image there represents not only a state champion, but went on to be recognized on a national level with her Youth Arts Month flag that flew at our state capital, or our state and national capital. We were able to work with awesome people. Examples of this are the Friends of Prescott Valley's Foundation, the Over the Hill Gang, and the Arizona Community Trust, Prescott Valley Pickleball Association, Eagle Scouts, mountain bike teams from Chino Valley, as well as Bradshaw Mountain High School. Again, our friends of Prescott Valley Parks and Recreation and the American Legion for their help in the restoration efforts that took place at the park, with over $50,000 worth of monies raised. And you get to work with some rather unique people as well. Fun-loving, spirited folks that get out there and help make the experience fun and exciting in doing those things. And in doing that, sometimes we get to celebrate a little bit too. And in this case, we've been able to help you all celebrate 40 years of Town of Prescott Valley's experiences. So with that, I will conclude our presentation tonight. I will be happy to answer any questions you have in regards to our written report, and then also continue to make you proud in regards to the efforts moving forward through our parks, recreation, arts, and cultural experiences.
Questions, comments, anyone? Mary?
Well, you know, Brian, your department, the group of people that show up for everything to put together, I don't know what we'd do if it wasn't for your leadership on a lot of events that are held. I know personally how many times I've gone to you in regards to, can you help me with this or that? And of course, when we come along with the healing fields, that's a huge event. and you start working on that with other members about 6 months out. So I just know that you make a huge impact in this community, and the parks are needed for the families, and I know it's all appreciated. So thank you.
Thank you for that. I know our community appreciates what this council is able to bestow as well, from the standpoint of almost $110,000, $115,000 of in-kind cash or support services, volunteer services were given to the department over the course of this fiscal year. So that's the community giving back to itself as well, too. So that's pretty awesome stuff.
That is.
Any other comments? Question, Mike?
Yeah, I just wanted to say I always do. I think a lot of people in our community only know us by Parks and Recreation. They're not necessarily in here or listening to the council or whatever in terms of issues that we're addressing, but more so I think some of the services are provided through Parks and Recreation. So we appreciate that. I think you do an outstanding job, and I think our community would agree that we have one of the best Parks and Recreation departments and facilities in central and northern Arizona, so we appreciate that.
Thank you, sir.
Rick, any comments?
Well, Parks and Recreation and the library are probably the most used facilities that we have in Prescott Valley. More of our citizens take advantage of those services, and you do an outstanding job year after year in Parks and Recreation. And I want you to thank everyone that works for you. Please thank the Commission for all their hard work and everything they do, because I know they all work very hard to achieve your goals. And again, you just do a fantastic job, Brian. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else, Brian?
No, sir. I appreciate your time, and on behalf of the Parks and Recreation and Arts and Culture Commissions, thank you all very much for, as the slides show this evening, for being able to help improve and enrich and provide quality to our families.
Keep up the good work. Thank you real much. Appreciate that. Okay, we'll move on to 10B, consideration of reappointing Larry Rankin to the Planning and Zoning Commission. Rick?
Yes. Larry, do you want to come down? Please.
Please. Could you please?
On October 31st, 2018, Larry Rankin's term on the Planning and Zoning Commission will come due for renewal. He submitted the renewal application letter choosing to be reappointed. Larry Rankin was first appointed to a partial term on this board on April 10th, 2014, and this reappointment will be his third consecutive term. Vice Mayor Laura Lee Nye, myself, and Councilmember Marty Grossman are recommending the reappointment of Larry Rankin for a term with a renewal date of August 31st, 2021. Welcome, Larry.
Thank you.
Any comments, Larry?
No, I just appreciate the time. Appreciate your staff here. They make our job on the Planning and Zoning Commission really easy to understand and learn what the town's trying to do and how we're progressing. So it's been a good experience for me, and I continue to enjoy it. Thank you.
Good job, Larry. Okay, questions, comments, motions, demotions, commotions? Mike?
Mr. Mayor, I'd be happy to make a motion to reappoint Larry Rankin to the Planning and Zoning Commission to a term with a renewal date of October 31, 2021.
Second, anyone?
Mayor, I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Would you set the vote, Diane? This is where the test comes, Larry.
It's 50-50.
50-50.
That passes, Mayor.
It passes. Congratulations, Larry. And
thank you, Mayor.
We do
Thank
appreciate
you,
your service. Thank you so much. Okay, next we have consideration of reappointing Matthew Zurcher to the P&Z Commission. Rick?
Yes, I have that as well. Matt, you want to come down? On October 31st, 2018, Matthew Zurcher's term on the Planning and Zoning Commission will come due for renewal. He submitted the renewal application letter choosing to be reappointed. Matt Zurcher was first appointed to a partial term on this board on February 27th, 2014, and this reappointment will be his third consecutive term. Vice Mayor Laura Lee Nye, myself, and Councilmember Marty Grossman are recommending the reappointment of Matt Zurcher for a term with a renewal date of October 31st, 2021. Welcome, Matt.
Thank you.
Matt, any comments?
Mr. Mayor, members of council, I just want to say thank you for allowing me the honor to continue to serve our community on the Planning and Zoning Commission. I'm looking forward to the future challenges that our commission faces, but more importantly, the opportunities that we'll face that benefit our great town. And I just want to also take a moment, Richard did not pay me to say this, but I want to commend Richard Parker and the staff of the Community Development Department for all the work they do for the town and for all the assistance they provide the commission and all the deliberations we have. So thank you.
Thank you. We do rely very heavily on your recommendations, so we appreciate that. Any other questions, comments, motions, demotions?
Yeah, I had a question, and this only, I think, in the last couple of days we received a letter, from a legal firm, and I was wondering, did you have any comments on what they're addressing?
It's just a rezone that we're going to be facing very shortly.
Okay. Because I'm wondering if you want to defend yourself. I've been kind of contemplating to abstain from this vote because of that letter. I think it came yesterday. We haven't had a lot of time to discuss it, but I think from a legal perspective, I think Ivan had mentioned there's nothing that you had done wrong. But it is troubling, I think, in terms of the the comments that were made. So I just wanted to give you an opportunity to defend yourself.
It's something that personally, my homeowners association has chosen to take a formal position on a zoning issue that will be before us very shortly. And something that I personally don't agree that an HOA should be doing. I don't think an HOA should be getting involved in a political issue, and a zoning issue to me is a legislative issue, and therefore it is a political issue, and I don't believe they should be taking that position. So definitely I have been very vocal in my displeasure that they have basically voted to take the position to fight this.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Because I know the information we got from Ivan was that nothing's been done wrong, and I know that we even have, I think, our mayor-elect who's publicly opposed that, I think, several times. So it's just something that we have to deal with, but I wanted to give you an opportunity to
appreciate it. Thank
respond.
you.
Yeah.
Larry, did you have a comment?
Well, just a comment that we really appreciate all the work that the Planning and Zoning Commission does. You end up on the front lines, if you will, for the continued growth and change of this community. And that means annexations. That means rezonings. And as this community goes forward off in the future, we have a document that we use as our directive, if you will, which is the general plan. It makes it very clear what we should and should not be doing as we go forward. But as with any document, it's not inflexible. Okay, and so we appreciate the work that planning and zoning does because you get kicked in the teeth frequently, and that's not always easy. But you have a document that you take to heart and use that as guidance. And so for that, we certainly appreciate the hard work that you do.
Thank you.
Rick, your thoughts?
Well, we're discussing an issue that hasn't even come up before planning and zoning yet. Right. I understand there are some serious concerns on both sides of the issue, but I think we have to let it play its course. It's had a public hearing. It's not come up for a work study at planning and zoning. It has nothing to do with the town council at this point, nor should it, because that's why the Planning and Zoning Commission is in place, so that they can deal with their part before it ever comes to us, if it ever comes to us. It may be taken care of at the work study. I mean, we don't know that. So I think it was inappropriate, personally, that we received the letter. I don't think we ever should have, because I think that was trying to influence how we would see things. And I think that was an appropriate or an inappropriate method to get our attention. And I don't think they should have sent it to us. So, but that's just my opinion. I think it's something that we have to let it play its course. I don't see that. I know there are tempers that have risen as a result of this. We've heard it for months now. And I think that we just have to let it work through the system. That's why the system's here. And I think what we're seeing is the system working. You know, everyone's allowed to have their say, and they're getting it. You know, it's not always peaceful, and it's not always pleasant. And we've been through that before many times here over the years, that it's not a lot of fun sometimes to sit in this room and see what happens. But it's a process we have to do and we have to take. And I think we owe it to our citizens to let this process work its way through. That's my opinion.
Good. Any other comments?
Yeah, I just wanted to agree that I think there is a reason or rationale for that letter, and I don't appreciate that either, you know, and especially a day before our meeting. So on that note, I'll be happy to make a motion.
Okay, we're ready.
To reappoint Matthew Zurcher to the Planning and Zoning Commission to a term with a renewal date of October 31, 2021.
And I'll second that, Mayor.
We had a motion and a second. Would you set the vote, Diane?
That passes, Mayor.
Thank you. Congratulations. And we do appreciate it. We rely very heavily on your job.
Thank you, Matt.
Okay, we move on to numbers D, consideration of authorizing the mayor to sign resolution number 2072, authorizing FDP 18-012, and to sign any agreement under Proposition 207. Joe?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. There's detail on this issue in your packet, RFCA. I'm just going to give you a summary. Again, this request by Cindy Brown for a final development plan for development of a pharmacy and a coffee shop on about 5,000 square feet. I'm property located on Highway 69 north of Village at Lynx Creek. An 11-acre parcel was annexed in the town in 2004 with C3 zoning, and included an office building and a highway billboard that became non-conforming, and that the billboards and PV are only allowed in the PM zoning district. The 11 acres was subsequently rezoned to C3 PAD 2006 to allow for additional development with an approved preliminary development plan. The existing building on the south half of the parcel was remodeled for an office and retail use, which did not require a final development plan at the time, just ate out approval for new access. Existing building was again remodeled later to an office medical use. In 2017, the owner of the 11 acres split the property to sell the portion with the existing building, and they retained the northern portion that had the billboard. The billboard was subject to a long-term lease, and the owner of the building, Cindy Brown, now wanted to buy the northern part of the property that had the billboard. And the sales contract of the building portion was contingent on the purchaser being able to obtain a building permit for a new building, and provided that the billboard lease would continue after any sale. The split didn't comply with town code requirements, so the billboard lost its status as a non-conforming use that could continue. Upon submittal of the final development plan, this final development by Cindy Brown, she had been informed that the related billboard violation would need to be resolved. In August, she applied for a variance to allow the billboard to remain on the parcel until the end of the lease in 2021. In September of 2018, the board determined that the earlier split had been self-imposed hardship and denied the variance, even though the town recommended in favor of it. In light of the board's action, staff is now recommending that this final development plan continue to be processed for approval, but with a condition that no certificate of occupancy should be issued prior to resolution of the billboard violation. And this is included as part of the resolution 2072. Code enforcement is currently working with the applicant to resolve the billboard issue under this condition. And with that, the staff recommends approval of resolution 2072, and available if you have any questions.
Questions, anyone?
I do.
Rick?
Do we have any idea what kind of resolution we're looking at?
Well, again, the condition is that she's aware before a certificate of occupancy for the new project, so they are negotiating an agreement to be in place first, that the billboard will be removed. So she's aware that when submitting a building permit that it would have to be removed. So they're working on a separate agreement on that. Code enforcement is.
Any other questions? More?
Yeah, there's still more. I'm having a hard time grasping why are we not waiting until the resolution is made before we agree to this? Why can't it come back to us after this resolution has been
After it's been resolved?
After it's been resolved, yes.
Well,
I mean, I have no problem voting for it if there's a resolution. Is there a time crunch that I'm not aware of, that we have to approve it ahead of time so that the minute it gets resolved, they can start building? I don't understand.
Well, this is what code enforcement and Ivan was involved with this. He's not here to explain in detail, but this is what Richard wanted as that there would be no certificate of occupancy until it's resolved, and this gives her a chance to start with the project and to get the project designed and plans reviewed, knowing that it could be 8 months to a year before the project is completed. So I think they wanted to allow the project to get going while the billboard is.
What's the next step after the Board of Adjustments? They've denied it. Is that correct? Board of Adjustments
That's
denied it?
what's been reported to me, yes, by code enforcement.
What would the next step be? Maybe Larry can answer that for me.
Well, with that denial, unless they went back and got approval for a variance in order to extend that time frame, that might be a possibility to try that. But if not, she would have to agree to remove it before they got a certificate of occupancy. This is what code enforcement and Ivan came up with. So,
Mike?
Yeah, just looking at some of our options here. We do have an option to table the item, direct staff to make modifications to the final development plan prior to approval.
If you need more explanation, that's certainly a prerogative.
Right. All right.
Larry, did you have a comment too?
Ivan explain it better if we need to. Or...
Steve, any comment on that?
I'm involved in
I don't see any problem, any issues with doing this. I just don't understand why we need to approve it now.
Right.
And then say, assuming you get everything done and assuming everything's going to be okay, then a year from now go ahead and build when you get everything fixed. I mean, what if this takes till 2021 to fix it? Then the lease is gone, the billboard comes out, and there's no longer an issue. I mean, there's no time limit set on this. So we're approving something that could take forever to get fixed, and then all of a sudden they're building whatever they want to.
Well, no, I mean, if she starts construction or building it, I mean, she knows she would have to forego or get rid of the billboard in order to occupy that building. So I guess that's what they're
I believe the
proposing.
thinking behind this is it's a prime commercial piece of property, and any development that goes on there is a good thing. It fills our cash register or works towards filling our cash register. And in the process of that, if we are able to take some action on a billboard that is non-conforming use based on our regulations and make that go away, it's a good thing.
Well,
so sooner rather than later, and let as many options be available to them as possible. And servicing that part of our community with a pharmacy, as is represented here, that's a good thing.
Oh, and I don't doubt that. What I guess what really bothers me is we have the Board of Adjustment who looked at this and said, no to the variance. And then it looks to me like then it's coming to us and we're overriding the Board of Adjustment that's made up of professionals that understand whether or not this should be, whether a variance should be granted. And I'm just questioning that.
If I can try to clarify that a little bit, I did not handle the Board of Adjustments, but as it was explained to me, and is that the board denied it because they said that the parcel split was illegal. And so they could not approve the billboard with the illegal split. So that was explained to me the reason they couldn't approve the variance because of the illegal split. So the sign still exists, so this was a way to allow some time. If she gets approval, then she can start the design of the building, because she kind of needs this approval in order to start designing the building, and this gives her time to start that phase, plan the building, and
okay. So she basically needs some assurances.
This is the first step of assurances, yes, so she can start planning.
This to all happen.
That's the intent. So this gives her some blessing. She can start planning the project and the building, knowing it's going to take 8 months or a year to complete, and gives her time to prepare for getting rid of the sign.
Okay.
That's
what I was looking for.
Gotcha.
I was looking for someone to say they need our assurances that we're going to allow this to happen.
Correct.
When it gets fixed.
This gives her
so that they can go to the bank and get the money they need.
This gives her approval to start the planning process. Correct.
Their building.
Correct.
And I understand that, and that's all I wanted to hear.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Any other comments, questions?
And I believe I've not been working on it. Ivan and Carol have been working on it, but I believe it's also got the condition, make it clear to the property owner that the condition of the certificate is contingent on removal of the sign, correct?
Correct. That's the way it's worded in the resolution.
Condition's also important part of the
resolution, yes.
Resolution.
Any other questions, comments, motions, commotions, promotions?
Mayor, I will make a motion.
Okay.
Motion to authorize the mayor, or in his absence, the vice mayor, to sign resolution number 2072, approving FDP 18-012, and to sign any agreement under Proposition 207.
I'll second that, Mayor.
Okay, with a motion and a second, will you set the vote, Diane?
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Good job, Joe. Okay, we move on to number E. Consideration of authorizing the mayor, or in his absence, the vice mayor, to sign resolution number 2073, adopting and approving an amended final development plan plat for Stone Ridge Unit 8B. Joe?
Great. Thank you, Mayor and Council. The current Stone Ridge Master Plan originally approved 42 multifamily units for what is now identified here as Unit 8B, and it has had the zoning designation of the R2 PAD, which is multifamily zoning. But in the R2 district, single-family residents are also allowed by right. The proposed amendment from the 42 apartments to the 11 lots is a reduction of about 31 residential units, which is a 74% reduction in density. The Planning Commission approved a preliminary development plan on this parcel in November of 2017, following a neighborhood meeting in September of 2017. A final development plan was originally approved for Unit 8, which subsequently approved by Town Council on April 12, 2018, along with a subdivision agreement. The owner later determined that developing the anticipated housing product on the proposed lot dimensions would be difficult because of the required yard setbacks. They approached the town about reducing the right-of-way width from 50 to 40 feet to allow for an additional 5 feet of lot setback. The Public Works Director concluded that the reduction of the right-of-way would not adversely affect the actual paved area and curbed area and sidewalks, and therefore indicated it could support the amended FDP showing the reduced width at this particular location. A new subdivision agreement has been prepared, which defines development criteria and financial assurance requirements. Staff recommends approving Resolution 2073. I'm available if you have any questions, and the applicant is also in attendance.
Questions, anyone? No. Mike?
Yeah, I just want to make a comment. I think this is kind of the reverse of what we were talking about earlier relative to redevelopment and changes in the plan. And I think in this case, I've never heard anything but, I think support from the residents. I know there's a resident here tonight from Stone Ridge. I don't know if she has anything to say, but I know that it's been embraced by the community in terms of from multifamily to single family. Just want to make that comment.
You want to make a comment? No, come on. You have to use the microphone. Okay. Any other, Larry?
Well, I was going to ask Councilman Whiting if he thought they were going to be able to get electricity there. I'm kidding.
Of course they are, and water. Yes, all the modern conveniences in Stone Ridge. So if there's nothing else to be said, I'll be happy to make a motion.
Okay, I think we're ready.
Motion to authorize the mayor or in his absence the vice mayor to sign resolution 2073 adopting and approving the amended final development plan plat for Stone Ridge Unit 8B.
Second, anyone?
I'll second, Mayor.
We have a motion and a second. Will you set the vote, Diane?
Councilmember Anderson, how do you wish to vote?
Yes.
Thank you.
Joe?
It passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, Joe. Okay, we move on to number F, consideration of authorizing the mayor to sign ADOH contract number 301-19 for $385,000 in home and HTF funds from the Arizona Department of Housing. Gary?
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor, Council. I'm Gary Davis, planner with Community Development. Ordinarily, this is a consent agenda item, but I wanted to take the opportunity, if I may, to give a brief update to the Council and also the folks at home who might not be aware of the owner-occupied housing rehabilitation program. Just let you know what's being considered, what's been done in the past, and what the program is all about. The action considered tonight is to authorize the mayor to sign the grant number 30119 for owner-occupied housing rehabilitation program. This would be giving us $350,000 in home funds, which are federal funds. Added to that is $35,000 of state housing trust funds, which would go to offset some of our administrative costs, for a total of $385,000 over the next year and a half to keep administering this program. Over the last 9 years or so, we've received more than $2.5 million through this program and have helped somewhere over 70 homes. So it's been a really successful program. Just to give an idea of folks who are eligible for the program, properties that are either a house or a mobile manufactured home, but it has to be in the town limits of Prescott Valley. The owner lives in the home full-time. The household income is less than 80% of the median income for the community, and that number will vary depending on how many people are in the household. And the home value would have to be less than 95% of the county's median home value. Right now, that 95% figure is about $212,000. And that the owner is current in paying mortgage, taxes, and insurance on the property. What kind of rehabilitation do we do? We put quite an emphasis on health and safety items such as electrical and plumbing. Structural items can be done too, repairs to roofs, walls, floors. Energy efficiency items, putting in new windows, shoring up ductwork, heating, AC. And also disability adaptations, putting in ramps and grab bars in bathrooms has been really helpful for a lot of our recipients. So people who want to find out more about the program can go to our website. It looks like this, and they can click on our grant funds available for home repairs button, and that'll take you straight to the page that gives you all the details on the program, tells you what the steps are, how it works, and for how to apply, you can either get your application off of that website, or you can pick up an application at our office on the second floor at the Civic Center, or you can call me, call Community Development, to have an application mailed to you. And for more information, whether you're a homeowner who might be interested in it, or if you're a contractor who might want to put in bids on this project, on these types of projects, you can call me at Community Development. I'm Gary Davis. My number is 759-3058. And that includes my presentation, and on to your consideration.
Questions, anyone?
Well, I just wanted to say thank you, Gary. This program is fabulous. It's helped a lot of people in the community for several years now, and I appreciate you coming up here and doing this PowerPoint and putting it out there for the community.
We like to get the word out. Great.
Did a great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mike?
Yeah, I don't know how many years we've been doing this, for many years. Do you have an idea?
The town has been administering it for about 9 years.
9 years.
I think it was administered through NACOG before that.
Okay. Do you have an idea the number that is projected as far as rehabs that you're going to be doing, number of homeowners, and what is the anticipated, or is there a limit in terms of expenditure per project?
Expenditure per project, the limit has been raised this year to $65,000 for a renovation, or $90,000 for a replacement of a mobile home. That happens occasionally.
Right.
And we've, the number here, we've anticipated that would probably go towards about 8 homes.
8 homes?
Somewhere between 7 and 9 is what we anticipate for this year with the $385,000.
Well, I echo Mary's comments as well. It's a great program. I think our community appreciates it and look forward to seeing who we can help this next year.
Great. Thank you very much.
Any other questions, comments, motions, emotions?
Mr. Mayor, I'd be happy to make a motion to authorize the mayor in his absence, the vice mayor, to sign a DOH contract number 301-19 for $385,000 in home and HTF funds from the Arizona Department of Housing.
Mayor, I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Would you set the vote? Gary, good job, by the way. Appreciate that.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
You're ready to go to work.
Thank you.
Gary, thank you. Okay, we move on to a G, consideration of it, approving award of the construction contract to the lowest responsive bidder, Earth Resources Corporation, in the amount of $69,401. Approve on amendment to the professional service with Sunrise Engineering in the amount of $1,620 for construction, staking services at the Pleasant View Water Main Project, CIP number W427, and approve the budget amount. Neil, you're up.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. And actually, if I could take a minute and put in a plug, we are doing a tour of the wastewater treatment plant Saturday morning for the public, starting at 10 o'clock, going to about 11:30. We'll be able to give a number of tours during that time frame. But I wanted to put that plug in there for anybody that's interested in coming out and seeing that. And I also wanted to... What's that?
Serving hamburgers, too?
No, we're not doing that. We're not going to put people through that. But I wanted to say something to Councilman Anderson. He made a statement earlier that the parks and the library were probably the most used town facilities, and I would argue that the treatment plant is
mistake.
actually
I'm sure the sewers used
Oh, my God.
Just to put the record straight there.
Oh, my gosh.
All right, so moving on to the topic at hand. Awarding a project to Earth Resources Corporation for the Pleasant View water main project. We're installing about 600 feet of water line between basically 2 dead-end lines. We're completing the link between the two, and this is in advance of the work that's going to be done out there on Florentine and what's the name of that street over there?
I don't know.
You lost?
Anyways, the work that they're going to do with the storm drain project here coming up, we need to put this link in so that we have fewer customers out of water when that starts to happen. So, anyways, we received 4 bids, and Earth Resources Corporation was the low bid at $69,401. In addition to that, we're also asking that you approve an amendment to the agreement with Sunrise Engineering, which will allow them to do the construction staking for that project in the amount of $1,620. And then there are some associated budget transfers that go along with that. It's Sunset Lane that they're going to be doing the work on here in the future. And we got to get in advance of that. So.
Good. Questions? Anyone? Comments?
No.
Motions?
Well, I do notice it's part of our budget. It's been planned in for, correct?
We made some adjustments. When the Sunset Lane project was moving forward and we were reviewing those plans and looking at how we were going to deal with some of the shutdowns and the water issues and such, in planning for that, we realized that it was going to be a hardship on this one area if we didn't get this project completed first. So we made some budget adjustments in order to make this happen.
Great. I think they'll
Mayor,
appreciate that.
Mary?
Yeah, I wanted to say that we all know this is a lengthy project. It's going to take time. There might be a lot of things going forward.
Well, this one's going to be fairly short, but the next project on Sunset is going to be very long, yes.
Yeah, and we'll probably hear a lot of things in regards to that particular area.
And there will be water outages from time to time. This will lessen it for this particular area, but yeah, anytime you're doing major construction that's going to happen over there, there are going to be inconveniences. There are going to be water shutdowns and things like that, and we will do our best to alert the public before those happen and help prepare for those events.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate, all the work that you're putting into this. And I know the end result will be amazing, and everyone will be so happy when it's completed. So thanks.
Any other comments, questions?
Motion?
No, we need a motion, Neil.
All right.
I'll make a motion.
There we go.
A motion to approve award of the construction contract to the lowest responsive bidder, Earth Resources Corporation, in the amount of $69,401. Approve an amendment to the profession services agreements with Sunrise Engineering in the amount of $1,620 for construction staking services for the Pleasant View Water Main Project CIP number W427, and approve the budget adjustments.
Mr. Mayor, I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Would you set the vote, Diane?
All right.
That's unanimous, Mayor.
Neil, good job. Appreciate
Thank you.
that. Okay, we have comments from the public, and tonight will be Mike Whiting's turn to read.
Comments from the public. Consideration, discussion of general unscheduled comments from the public. Those wishing to address the council need not request permission in advance. Any such remarks shall be addressed to the council as a whole and not to any member thereof. Such remarks shall be limited to 5 minutes unless additional time is granted by the mayor. At the conclusion of the unscheduled comments, individual members of the council may respond to the item addressed at the discretion of the mayor, or they may ask the town manager to review the matter to ask that the matter be placed on a future agenda.
Good. Anyone comment? Come on up.
My name is Gifford Rodine. I live at 8025 North Sage Vista. That's in Viewpoint here in Prescott Valley. And There was some concern about some rezoning efforts that were requested.
Thank you.
Per this map. You may have seen it. I went to the planning department. He would not give me a copy of this map. I got a copy on my own. So, good evening, Mayor and Town Council members. I will try to limit my comments to the 5 minutes allotted. It would be appreciated if you would save your questions to the end of the presentation. This turned out to be a quality of life education journey, as most citizens contacted felt that safety, security, and home value retention are their primary concerns. A survey of Viewpoint citizen homeowners containing a position statement that was circulated door to door. I personally did that. Signatures of residents that are in favor of the petition were recorded. Those numbers of citizens not in favor or did not want to sign the petition were also recorded. The petition reads as follows. We are requesting that the Planning and Zoning Commission as well as the Town Council change the zoning of the undeveloped areas of Pronghorn and Viewpoint as well as all town land between those subdivisions and north of Highway 89A to single-family housing designations. I think that's R1L-10 space PAD. This was a statistical survey based on the quality statistical methods taught by both Dr. Duran, called managerial statistics, and separately by Dr. Deming. They are both now deceased, but their work has lived on importantly. They both presented courses presented by my previous employers, which I have taken. The website is https://surveysystems.com/SSCALC-HTM. This was not done by those two previous mentioned folks, but it does follow their method very closely. Was used in these calculations and is based on their teachings. 4 areas of Viewpoint East, West, North, and the Reserve were surveyed. Each area surveyed yielded statistically significant similar results. The petition was read to each respondent prior to signing. The aggregate results are a total of 276 tax-paying citizen respondents were recorded. This represents 240 residences or lots. 246 citizen resident homeowners were against any form of multifamily residence in the area described in the petition. 34 citizen residents were opposed to the petition or had no opinion concerning the multifamily residences. This results in a statistical 86% of the area residents being opposed or very opposed to the multifamily residents in these neighborhoods. This is a very outstanding number. For a 95% confidence level, the variance band plus or minus on these representative samples is 6% on a citizen basis and 6.5% on a property lot basis. Therefore, a 95% accurate minimum statistical approach yields 81% of the citizen residents are against zoning that this is not a single-family dwelling. Then I've got a snide comment there that I won't read, but my nature is a lot of people don't like me. $600 million worth of people don't like me, and that's to your benefit. As it turned out, a large percentage of the person's petitions were retired. By my observation, possibly 60 or 70%. But this was not mentioned during the petition signing. An actual survey was conducted at the developer's open house at the Bradshaw School cafeteria, and 84% of those surveyed indicated they were retired based on a sample size of 86. If there are any questions?
Anyone have a question here real quick? Mike?
I just have a clarification. What are the total number of residents in Viewpoint?
I would have to ask you to check with your planning department to see if there is a population distribution. I do not.
It's more than 240, correct? More
yes.
than your respondents in your questionnaire?
Yes, oh yes.
Right, all right. Because that kind of confused me in terms of your percentage.
The statistical methods taught by Duran and Deming are very important statistical methods. If you own a Japanese car made by Toyota or Nissan or Honda, they were the first people to use Dr. Deming's method, and that's why they are so popular today. That's why I said early on that this is a quality of life educational journey for myself. I just wanted to find out what the citizens thought. Right. But with a confidence level of plus or minus 6%, whatever I said there, 80.
No, I understand.
85% of the people. That's a huge number. That surprised me, because I was very objective in doing this. I read the petition. I got questions back. I said, that's the wording that's going to be presented to the city council.
Any other questions? Thank you, Gifford.
If you're interested in any other side comments that people made, there were a lot of them. I'm trying to keep this very objective. She's got my card. You can give me a phone call. I'm retired. I can meet with you about any time.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? You had a comment? This time you're going to talk, right? Good. Nice to see you.
Yeah. Honorable, can you guys hear me? There we go. Honorable Mayor and council members, my name is Mackenzie Rogers, and I'm the Northwest Division Manager for APS. I wanted to thank each of you for your support and patience as the worst monsoon season in 5 years comes to a close. Across the state, APS replaced double the poles this summer than the entire year of 2017, and our teams were here 24/7 to get the lights back on for this community. But today I wanted to come as a resident of Prescott Valley and as an APS customer to talk about a very important proposition on the ballot for the November 6th general election. Prop 127 would change the Arizona Constitution to mandate that electric utilities such as APS get half of their electricity from renewable resources by 2030, irrespective of the cost to consumers. On the surface, that sounds like an admirable goal. Who wouldn't want more renewable energy? In reality, Prop 127 is deeply flawed and would do long-term harm to Arizona electric consumers. Here's why. The proposition would force electric utilities like APS to spend billions of dollars on costly new infrastructure. Remember the language, irrespective of the cost to consumers. The burden for paying for these forced investments would fall on energy consumers, doubling their monthly electric bill. These increases would hit customers with limited and fixed incomes especially hard. The proposition would weaken Arizona's economic competitiveness by more than doubling commercial and industrial energy costs. And it would also harm Arizona's schools by dramatically increasing their electric bills and taking money out of the classrooms. California has already implemented similar mandates that have led to a 30% increase in their electric bills, which are currently double APS's rates. And after all this expense, the harm to businesses and schools, the sad fact is that Prop 127 will do little to nothing to reduce Arizona's air pollution, nearly all of which comes from auto emissions and blowing dust, which this proposition doesn't address. As an Arizona native and an APS employee, I want our state to continue moving toward a cleaner energy future. APS is currently producing 50% clean, carbon-free energy and has plans to continue to increase renewables on the grid without sacrificing affordability or doing long-term harm to our state. I'm asking you guys to join me in voting no on Prop 127 and get out to vote on November 6th. Thank you guys for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mary. Appreciate that. Good job. Anyone else? I think we're about out of citizens. Rick, did you have a comment?
No.
Okay, we have one more item that we have to take care of, a very critical one, known as...
Make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, we have a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
And a second. Will you set the vote, Diane?
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you. I expected it would. Thank you, Diane. Okay, meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.